Hi guys, welcome to Asher and Gad channel, making Africa home again, one family at a time. Right, so back in Accra now, just on the outskirts, and it was an interesting 2 weeks in Kumasi. Said our goodbyes to Dad, and may his soul rest in peace. But back to business now. Today I'm going to talk very briefly about our main gate. Okay, the main gate, the cost and the challenges surrounding it. So obviously those of you who are subscribed to our channel, you've seen our main gate lying on the ground for quite a long time. It was purchased when we were in the UK, and I was made to buy it. Didn't give it much thought at the time. Just said okay. I was convinced to buy it, and then I bought it. But really, hindsight is a beautiful thing. There's so many factors in construction, and if I knew what I know now, I wouldn't have bought the main gate at the time I was influenced, let's say, to buy it. I would have bought it right now, but that's fine. It's still a good gate, and we're happy with the purchase, and we can live with it. So there are different types of materials when it comes to main gates. We went for the galvanized steel version because that is quite robust to the elements in terms of rusting. It's galvanized, they won't rust. After a while you can reapply the galvanization, and after some time, but that is what I would recommend. Spray paint it. Get the welder, whoever's making the gate, to spray paint it whatever color you want. Pick the design you want. There are so many different designs, a lot of lovely unique designs. There's some coming up on your screen right now, some that we looked at, and they vary in prices. Some can be as expensive as 8,000 Ghana cedis, which is about £1,000, or what, 1,350, let's say, US dollars. It can be that expensive or less. It all depends on your taste and how much you want to spend on your main gate. Okay, as far as we're concerned, the cost of our gate, for those of you who've seen it, is exactly coming up on your screen, 5,630 Ghana cedis. Okay, 5,630 cedis, which is 704 pounds or 978 US dollars. Okay, now when you are buying a gate, the main gate for your house, obviously there are many things you need to consider. Consider the design, how you want it to look, because obviously that is the front of your house. So that's the first impression, I guess, when people see your house. So it's important from that point of view. And also what you need to decide also is, do you want your pedestrian gate, because there's a vehicular gate and then there's a pedestrian gate. So do you want the pedestrian gate to be integral to the main gate, or do you want the pedestrian to be offset onto one side? We wanted everything integral, so we have quite a long main gate. Okay, and that main gate slides back and forth once it's done for the vehicles to come through. That's the vehicular access. But when it's closed, the personnel access to the door is simply through the pedestrian gate, which is a smaller part of the main gate. And there is that's what we chose to go for. If you choose to go for that, remember that you need to get a lock-on key for the personal access and entrance gate. Okay, so that obviously if somebody leaves, they can simply just lock the personal access gate behind them to secure it. Okay, so these are some factors that you need to consider as well. Okay, back to the price, because I know people ask me, does it include materials, does it include labor? Yes, everything. So our gate, 5,630 Ghana cedis, is everything: materials, labor, delivery, installation, everything wrapped up in one. Okay, now size, because we went for the one big integral gate, as in pedestrian and vehicular, one big one, it's made the gate quite large. Okay, so the gate is approximately 7 foot and 6 inches high, okay, and 16 feet wide. So it's fairly wide. Okay, 7 feet 16 inches high by 7 feet 6 inches high by 16 feet wide. Okay, that's how large the gate is. So if you're planning on a large integral gate, then when you're building your fence wall, leave enough space to fit the gate. If you're going to have the pedestrian off on one side or in the corner or anything, which is also beautiful as well, then plan for a reduced main gate that way as well. Now, obviously in construction there are challenges almost at every stage, but no, every challenge, every problem has a solution. So obviously we had a problem where, because the gate I was influenced by the gate so early on, we found that after the compound filling was done, after the compaction was done, that the ground level had raised so much that the gate was now so high above the pillar heads that it was obstructing, the pillar heads were obstructing the gate. And I mentioned this and showed this in a previous video. If you haven't watched that video, please click up here to watch that video, and then you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so what we had to do is we had to cut the pillar head, unfortunately, but it's fine. You know, it is going to be dressed very nicely, and the pillar head that's cut is cut at the back inside the house, so it's going to be dressed fairly nicely, and it'll still look okay. So we're happy with that. You can't really cut that. Somebody talked about, oh, why don't you just cut the underside of the gate? Well, no, you've got wheels under the gate which sit on the rail, like a train sits on a rail, which slides back and forth. So I wasn't prepared to take that risk of cutting it, and the welder wasn't confident to do that either. We could have sewed the gate, I guess. Maybe got a smaller one. Smaller one isn't as secure, and also because it would be more bespoke, I'd have to wait a bit longer to get it, and we are actually in a rush to move in, so we're pretty much happy with the solution of cutting the pillar. Not a problem at all. The gate to sit above the pillar, which I see it does in many houses around me, and then the electric fence would be above the gate, obviously sitting on insulators so that the gate doesn't become electrified. The electric fence will sit on insulators above the gate, also providing the added security and the continuous electric fence all around the property. Okay, now, so the solution to that is, now you know, if you're building your own home, don't buy your main gate too early. Just wait until all the land filling and compaction is done, so you're buying the gate knowing the final level of your land. And in actual fact, yes, no, I was thinking about the landscaping and if you're going to do pavement blocking or tiling, but it's fine because in our instance, the gate goes above where the car ramp is, the concrete ramp is, so that is absolutely fine as well. So I would suggest buy your gate when the compound filling and compaction is done, and when your car ramp is done as well. Okay, and if you haven't seen our car ramp, click up here to watch that video where I describe the car ramp and the rail and everything in that video. Okay, just checking my notes, make sure I don't miss anything. So now we've got to the point where our main gate is being installed in a similar fashion to how the balustrades in the house were installed. What happens is that the galvanized gate obviously is quite heavy as well, is lifted into place, and it is welded onto the steel reinforcement bars within the concrete pillars. So what's happening right now is there's a video on your screen showing the day when it was being installed. So the welder is drilling into the concrete pillars to expose the steel rebars, if you like, or the iron rods, the rebars. He then welded the main gate to those rebars to fix it and secure it in place. Okay, to anchor it in place, and that's it really. Obviously it's on rollers. You can manually push it back and forth, or you can go for the pedestrian gate. After the drilling, you just get the mason to put some cement around the holes to smoothen it over and to redress it again. Okay, so that's what's happening in the video. What about the control? Okay, we are going for an automated gate. Okay, automated gate is simply meaning that the gate is automated open or close using a motor. Okay, I am showing you some pictures on your screen right now, and you can see in these pictures there's a small box, a silver box on the floor, on the ground. That is the motor, and the motor is connected to a rack which is welded onto the gate, which then, as the motor operates with electricity, that it moves the gate, it slides the gate back and forth. This is another tip, guys. Let whoever is doing your automated gate measure the exact width of your gate so you can buy the right length of rack at the first time. My person, he bought a couple of racks, didn't bother to measure the width of the gate, because I guess he assumed that you took the measurement of a gate with a separate pedestrian, but ours is integral, so it's much wider than those ones. So he had to go out, waste more time to go and buy another rack. So whoever is in your automated gate, let them measure the width of the gate and then buy the right length of racks straight away. No time wasting. Okay, if you can avoid it. What about the control? So it's an automated gate, which implies automatic control. But also, you can also set it to manual. The motor itself has an automatic setting and a manual setting, right? In the automatic setting, just means the gate opens automatically, and you can open it automatically by various means. You can use the remote control, handheld. You can use an app on your phone, or you can have a switch in the house to open it when you're inside the house as well. In the night, maybe from a security point of view, it's probably best to switch it to manual, so that none of the automatic functions will work. It's just manually shut, and you have to, manually turn the motor to automatic before you can open the gate. Okay, or open it manually. That's probably the best thing to do at night from a security perspective, just in case somebody makes a mistake on their phone, or switches open the gate in the middle of the night by mistake and doesn't realize. So in the evening, I think a manual setting will suffice. And obviously, in the video, what you saw was the back of the gate. Okay, the front of the gate is much more beautiful. We have a couple of adinkra designs on symbology on the front of the gate, which is lovely. We wanted an all black gate, really. We tried to get things that minimize maintenance. We don't have a white gate that's going to get dirty too quickly, and so on and so forth. So now the gate is installed. Okay, we wiped down of all the dust that is accumulated over the months and months it's been lying on the ground. Oh, another reason why I would say, in hindsight, don't buy the gate until the compaction and filling is done, is because the gate is sat there on the ground for months and months and months, and it wasn't sat evenly. It was sat at an angle, so now it's sort of bent a bit. So when before the welder actually lifted it in place, he had to straighten it out. Okay, so that's again a bit of extra work. Didn't cost me anything, because we had paid the welder everything up front. When we bought the gate, we paid him for the labor and everything up front. So that wasn't an issue, but it's just another thing to consider, really. Don't buy your gate too early. It's not necessary. So after it's wiped down over the dust, we are and the locks. Oh yes, the key locks for the pedestrian. Try to install that all at the same time, because you want to finish all the works surrounding the main gate. Okay, polish, give it a bit of a dust wipe, and then you have to spray paint it again, so that it is brand spanking new again. Now obviously that's what we have to do, but obviously you may not have to do that if you buy your gate exactly at the point in time when you need it. Okay, awesome. What else? Check my notes just in case I've missed anything, and I don't believe I have. Everything is in place, which is wonderful. And one last thing is the electrical supply to the motor, which is going to move the gate. Make sure you test all those electrical cables. They're inducted in the ground. Before you fill and compact the ground, make sure you test all those electrical cables to make sure that the power supply works and is live to the point where you need it. What you don't want to do is run all those wires through the pipes, test the cables, everything is working. Sorry, what am I saying? So what you don't want to do is run the cables through the pipes, do all the compaction and filling, and then find out that there's a problem with the electrical cables. The power doesn't come through. Yeah, so you don't want that. So do the testing, be absolutely confident that the electrical supply has no issues, then compact and fill so that you won't have any problems later on. Okay guys, well I hope you enjoyed that. Just a brief video to talk really mainly about the main gate. As usual, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button so you always be aware when Asher and Gad upload a new and educational video for your viewing pleasure. Alright, so it's Kemesi on behalf of Gad, and for me it's guys, Yebeshia. Take care, see you next time.